right, man. Peace. Looks like a horse-drawn dolly.
What's up, dude? I've been coming here for, I guess, about 8 weeks, either every Saturday, doing a long run. So, no, you're good. But I'm training for a 100-mile run in August.
Cool.
That's a fundraiser for the family of a friend of mine that I was in the Marines with, and he was killed in Iraq a few years ago. So, thanks.
They send a casualty officer and a chaplain to your house, and they knock on the door and tell you, just like in the movies.
My dad passed away, it feels like forever ago, and it's really neat to like see how many people he's inspired. Like even now, my dad always surprises me with how many people he's made contact with, like Trevor, and it's just neat to see them all come together for something so amazing.
It's one thing to think about him, but it's the thing I think that fuels me more than anything else is that Stephanie and Ashley and Jake and Maddie, they have to go through life without a spouse or a dad, and that sucks. When it hurts or whatever, I just think about, like, they may or may not realize what all these guys are doing, and like we're doing it to honor Tyler, and there's a certain amount of like rah to that. But more than anything else, at least personally, I hope that in some small way what we're doing, and this kind of fuels me through the dark places of trying to push my body to this extent, is that hopefully at some point that they'll be able to look back on this and say that somebody was trying to do something to make my life easier, to make me aware that people care and understand what I'm going through.
I thought about Tyler and his family and why we're doing this, and what brought us together, us, you and I, and team, and it's real.
If I've got, one of these guys kicking me in the butt, getting me to the finish line, which is probably what's going to happen, I think we're going to learn a lot about ourselves over the next 36 hours. And some of that is going to be things that we don't really want to learn.
Most of all, I guess the biggest rule is let's not have another memorial. So if you feel like your heart's about to pound out of your chest, then stop. Don't be a dumbass. Because if something happens, we got to shut the whole thing
My
down.
concern is a guy who will run a marathon in boots and drag his leg because his back hurts and wears the bottom off of it.
Good thing we don't have a dumbass.
You're the
like
one
that.
who's got to listen to this guy. If I'm just saying, if it gets rough, we have to have an objective observer. Tell people it's not your punk card getting pulled if it's permanent injury or death. Anybody, not just
As long as we have Brian in front of us, we're never going to be more than a couple of miles away from the truck, so we're totally safe.
So we've got a job ahead.
So we're dividing all this into 4 boxes of 15,000 calories per box.
For the people that are running 100 miles?
For the 400-mile runners, and then the rest of the food will just go into an extra box for everyone else to eat as they need it, other runners.
Now, the boxes are going to be placed where, then?
I believe in Brian Aubin's truck support vehicle, the main support vehicle.
So the food will just move along with the race. It won't be at individual stops along the way.
Right. Well, the truck will be at every stop, so it'll be there the whole time.
How does a man prepare for a 100-mile run?
I don't know. We drove it today. It's kind of scary. So, some fried shrimp maybe, and maybe some corn. What do you think? Not as good as Nutter Butters, Joe. Little bread.
You're going to carve up, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to carve up. It's not really going to do any good, but it's going to taste good. And that's really, I think, all I care about at this point.
star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
What's the lecture? Like a lecture? Yeah. I don't lecture. I have to ask you.
Mike O'Toole was actually because they were like, dude, you guys know they all went out.
I didn't map out the goal.
I thought, well, it'd be nice if we had found a way to be on trail the whole way, but I knew it wasn't possible. And I really liked the idea of, even though I don't like to run on the road, doing what we did to be able to run from where we worked together to Tyler's grave. I thought it was worth it.
My memory of him. Trying to make sure that we stay between 11 and 12 minute miles while we're running, so that that'll leave us time for our stops. You know, we lose a little time there, keep us on 15-minute miles for that whole run. And then this afternoon, once it gets hot, once we get past about 30 miles, we'll shift into like a run 40, walk 20, and that way we're like can keep our core temperatures down, stay fresh, and at that point we'll still do the aiming for 11 to 12 minute miles when we're running. It should be pretty easy, and then 15-minute miles while we're walking.
He really is a loving person, and in that comradeship of the Marine Corps, as well as the branches, it's just so important. And I guess that's probably why he got involved in this fundraising, this 100 miles and doing it.
When my husband died, there was no grief support, there was no counseling, and I wanted to go and talk to a counselor, and I was actually turned away on base because they said they just didn't know how to deal with this type of issue. So a friend of mine and I started a grief support group at Camp Lejeune, which is still going, but we were spouses. We had to start the group. There was nothing. So that's what I think we all need.
Yeah.
Bring the garbage can up.
Yeah.
So that way you guys can just kind of.
Yeah, can I get a Gatorade?
Yeah, we have the boxes are set up with your names on them for the 100 miles. All right. So we're gonna scoot so you guys can barely stop. You have Gatorade?
You want the green that we mix? Doesn't matter.
Dan, Trevor, Dean, Turbo.
I don't need any food right now.
I love a Gatorade.
Those bucks are getting lighter, aren't they? A little bit.
They put a dent in it. But this is just the beginning. See how it goes. They definitely need everything in this box.
You either really want to finish this thing or you really want to quit. And at mile 80, we're all going to feel both of those. And the feeling of wanting to finish has got to be greater than the feeling of wanting to quit, even if it's just by an ounce.
Dean, you gonna be wearing your combat boots on this 100-mile run?
No, I'm not gonna be wearing mine. I'm gonna be wearing Tyler's.
Ah.
Until my feet swell. And then somebody else has to step up. Trev, what size shoe do you wear?
9.5.
I wear a 12. You'll fit fine in Tyler's. I had to squeeze mine in there. 10.5.
What size are Tyler's?
His are 10.5.
The more you learned about this 100 miles with Swisher, the scarier it got. Not only was he running 100 miles, he was going from Frederick, Maryland to Arlington, Virginia, down these roads, and there wasn't going to be another 50 people running with him. I know there were going to be people that were checking on him, etc. That whole thing is just scary.
That was a scary
You got
bridge.
it, Dean.
What flavor's your Slurpee?
I'm not sure. It's like a reddish, cherryish.
Is it good?
Yeah. I'm just getting my chest is getting too hot. I can tell I'm overheating. I had to have had 2 gallons of water already. Gotta walk these damn hills.
know how old that fucking house is. That's pretty sweet. Look at that, Jeff.
Yeah.
And that monument at the other end said this was a battlefield. And you got this little statue over here. Oh, okay. That is.
Auburn the fan is such a nice touch. It's so Auburn.
How about the guy holding the fan? Hey, what's up with the bandana? Are you in college?
You like bananas?
How about these bananas?
Yeah.
It's the food of champions right here.
Okay, next leg, 6.8 miles, same road to BP gas station.
Okay.
You got a long climb coming out of here.
Yeah. All right.
We're about 4 hours, 40 minutes.
When else can you find someone to take care of every need you have for 26 hours? That's a lot of work. We just have to do one thing. It's easy, comparatively speaking. I don't know, ask me in about 12 hours though. I might be like, I'll make a sandwich.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. He was huge deadhead, and he was one of those guys that, like, when you were out, he was kind of a free spirit. He was hardcore in uniform, the epitome of what you would think a Marine would be. Looked good in uniform, was physically fit, was intense, got the job done. I was standing next to Tyler, and he got off a payphone where he just got the call that Jerry Garcia, passed. And he was literally on the floor crying, inconsolable. And he was like a big, muscular, he wasn't some like little guy. No, we're good, bro. We're good. I'll sing.
I want to talk to you about heat stroke.
Heat stroke.
How do you know that happens?
Well, you get an onset of cramps. Guys start getting nauseous. They get dizzy. And guys can generally tell when their body starts shutting down. Cramps is the big indicator. And then the sign that it's time to quit or take a break is they start, if they quit perspiring.
No, but making that call on yourself is intense.
I don't want to screw them.
Well, you'll get back into it when you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
You just ran a marathon.
Yeah,
That's my 12.
exactly.
I think he made the right call.
Who made the call?
Dean did himself. He's realized that he wasn't sweating, and that's not good. So it was great. He's on top of it, made the tough choice to take a break. So hopefully he'll take a little break, get some fluids, and maybe jump back in.
I'm gonna run 100 miles and it's gonna really hurt, it's gonna really suck, and it's gonna be over, and I'm gonna recover from it, and I'm gonna start something new. And Tyler doesn't get to start something new.
Just thinking about the next 100 yards. I'm not thinking long term. I'm going to I pick a point in front of me, and I go to that, and I then just go to the next one. You're going to take a left underneath the railroad bridge, and then keep looking for Martinsburg Road. It'll be kind, but I'll be up to you by then.
I can't keep more than one.
Just one. That's the one I want you to
really
keep.
hard.
Come down to the end, run under a railroad bridge.
I got one left turn.
Yep. I feel like I'm doing really well on the salt, but I try to keep remembering to take these things.
Hey, Alan's actually walking. Alan's actually running.
It's amazing what you can do if you want, the human body can do if you just will yourself to do it.
Way to go! Dean, how does this compare with the hardest thing you've ever done?
It's kind of it is the hardest thing I've ever done. It is the hardest thing I've ever done, right? So far, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get the running truck first.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been real rough. So at a certain point, you don't even think that you're running. You don't even think about it. So it's tough. But how many more miles do we have?
50.
See, it's easy.
It's halfway through, halfway done.
Miles.
I don't know how much orange goo energy gel I can stomach. That looks delectable.
Oh, no. What is it?
Dude, I don't know.
Oh no.
Looks awful.
Yeah, I do feel better than I did between the 50.
I'm not sure I'd eat that with Dean's mouth.
My knees all around here were just really weak and just sore.
How you feeling?
A little rough at times. My ankles got pretty tight, but I stepped it out a little bit back there, and it kind of seemed like it worked it out a little bit, so I feel a little better. I think I'm going to change the socks here in a minute, but feeling all right.
Good.
A little rough, a little rough.
At the 20-mile mark, I started my second leg, and I just kept running. So it's, I think, 35 now. And
the rest is easy then, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it'll be dark, and you guys won't see me crying. So.
I was worried that you were like.
Why are you wearing those boots?
These are Tyler's combat boots, and we were going to take turns running with them. The next leg's about a mile, and I've already got about 10 or 12 miles in. Figure I got little feet, I can only run a little bit in these big boots. So I'll use this opportunity for me to get my leg done. Dean ran the beginning, at least the first leg with him, but his feet are gigantic, and they were squished in here. So I think that's why his feet look so awesome right now.
Trevor has a lot of energy, doesn't he?
Dan almost beat him up about 2 miles back.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I was running away from him.
Yeah, he had that special clearance.
It's not gonna happen.
Alright, I've been running the flats as best I can, about a 12-minute pace on the uphills through walking. Yeah, we love the company.
More forward. More forward.
Yeah, I'm walking down the street with like 5 other dudes in my team, and we did sport tactical operations.
Kathy, do you know Heather? Hi, Caroline, aren't you good?
Since I've been training for this, I've been thinking about Tyler a lot, and that's pretty motivating, you know. And sometimes I'll think about what Dean and Ron and some of the other guys are doing for their training, and thinking they're out there suffering somewhere too, and I can't let them outdo me. There's a little bit of competitiveness. You know, it's not all altruistic, you know what I mean? There's a big part of me that is really looking forward to like the middle of the night on this run to look over at Dean or somebody and just see them really suffering in the pain cave, and that'll just feed me.
Running. You trying to take bigger steps? Yeah, right now I am.
It seems to be helping out with the with my ankle issue, and just getting the, I guess, the acid in my muscles moving around keeps me from tightening up. Feels actually pretty good, but when I step it out a little more, then my cardio kind of suffers just a little bit.
Are you glad you're on a bike rather than on your feet?
I am. I love the mechanical advantage. The reduced friction, no pounding. The only part of me that's a little sad about the bike is my perineum.
All right, that's good.
Although Trevor's got some difficulty with his perineum too. I think he's put almost like a quart of Vaseline on his nether regions. He was so lubed up earlier that the whole back of his shorts were bright, shiny. Like if he had sat on somebody's grandmother's couch, they would have been really, really upset.
Yeah, Trevor, you got a sore perineum?
I don't know what that is, Joe. But
Yeah.
it's probably.
It's your place. Your taint.
Yeah.
It's your taint.
Now my taint's in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Has it been greased up any?
It's been greased up a lot. A lot.
But you're feeling good, aren't you?
Feeling great, buddy. Feeling great.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
The feet aren't getting any sore, are they?
Nah, my feet are in good shape.
Carlos.
Who put the glitter? Because that's the best part.
Sarah.
I love that part the best.
I'm gonna take a break for a while so I can at least finish.
It's a close
What's
fight.
that?
I think between the two of us,
I
we're
think
48th
you
and 49th and just about
were
everything.
pushing me through that last leg.
Yeah.
Does anybody need salt?
You need to.
Do we have any more?
You might want to take some
Red
more
Bulls?
ibuprofen too. I'd say. Brian, how are you doing?
I tell you, I'm feeling great. I really do. I was supposed to be sitting out for like the last 20 miles, but I've just been so motivated by this crew and the support that we're getting that I feel if I sit down, I'm going to miss something.
We've all had a good long day.
People have been singing your praises.
Well, it's everybody. It really is. You know, I just have a map, and everybody seems to follow it.
Trevor, how do you decide whether to sit down or not? Sitting down?
I don't know if it's a good idea, but I had to put some powder on my feet, and now that I'm here, I'm not getting up until we have to leave.
So what time is it?
I think it's around midnight.
Quarter after.
I think we have about 8 hours left. I think we'll make it, like on our schedule. I think it's getting harder, but we got lots of people helping us out, so I think we'll do it.
We go down again, slow again, all the way.
These pocket guys didn't ever PT,
All right, see how much
so
further we went?
he doesn't really know
Just
how to
relax.
stretch.
Just breathe through it. Just keep relaxing. All right. We're gonna stand it up again, nice and slow. All right. All right. A little this way. A little rotation at the hips, nice and easy. Nice and easy, man. All right. How we go? Let's work it down.
We didn't try to spotlight
Look
you
at
guys.
that. You're all the way to the ground.
Walk when we have to.
How you feeling, big man?
Feeling quite a bit better.
All right.
So we stopped on the little side of the road, and I
Shouted groceries.
shouted groceries. So then we got to this rally point a few minutes after that, and they set up the cot for me, and I jumped in the sleeping bag and took a little nap. So feel pretty good now. Yeah, feel pretty good. Man, I feel so much better. If I could take back that freaking cheeseburger, which I kind of did, but it's too late.
Gotta get to bed. So Brian, you were only going to run just a little bit, and here you are, heading up this hill, middle of the
Heading
night.
up this hill in the middle of the night. I don't know how far we are in, but I told these guys earlier that I'm actually, after the 26 I did earlier today, I'm only going to do the last 5. But I figure I'll just hang out with these guys until we get there, and then I'll run those last 5. So this is just logistics right now.
It's saving a spot in the car.
No, like I said earlier, if I feel like if I sit in the car, I'm gonna miss something.
Oh, I think it can.
Marathon, fuck that. I'll just do a 50 miler.
Yeah.
Marathons are for pussies.
Nice work.
I've done half marathons. You know, I've ran up to 15 miles before. That's it. That's awesome. 15 and...
I'll tell you honestly, right now we're moving a little too quick for my eyes to focus on anything.
What time is it? What time of the night? We need to mark this this occasion. It's
dark 30. Grim 30. 420. 420. Yeah.
Tyler was competitive as hell, and there was one time we were on a hike in Okinawa. He was a company commander, and he had the headquarters company for 4th Marine, so it's got a lot of officers and other things in it. But Tyler he liked to push the pace a little bit, and he was up front. And I go up there, and I'm a little competitive myself, so we're sitting up there, we're talking. I take one step forward, Tyler takes one step forward. Next thing you know, we're cruising at a pretty darn fast pace. Company first sergeant comes running up from the back. He yells, "Gentlemen, get the hell apart from each other!" Made me go back to the back and made him stay up there so we wouldn't be pushing the pace anymore. We were killing the Marines back behind us.
We're going to do 4.9 here. Then from there we're going to do about 6.3 to the Custis Trail. We're going to walk down the trail to meet you guys because the Custis kind of spins off and goes up and around.
I really don't have any toes left, so it's about the team. So I've only run in running shoes once in the last 10 years. So it's about the team. So you gotta buck up and support the team.
You're gonna feel like
that means I gotta wear Nancy's shoes. That's fine. I'll wear Nancy's shoes.
Oh, fuck it. I forgot about Parker.
For me, this has been like taking on a second job. I've been working out on an average of 3 hours a day for the last couple months. So, and some days up to 8. So, like it's like a significant commitment, but it still just means nothing in comparison to what Tyler and everybody else that's died or been wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan have given up. So if you look at the pod of people around Tyler's grave that morning, and if you were to put more of those pods by every one of those gravestones, what a statement that would be. And I feel like that was weighing on me as we were running through there.
We stand amongst heroes at Arlington National Cemetery, resting place for thousands and thousands of men and women who paid the ultimate price for the nation. God bless them all. I think it'd be appropriate to quote a lyric from Jerry Garcia and Robert Hunter. Reach out your hand if your cup be empty. If your cup is full, may it be again. Let it be known that there is a fountain that was not made of the hands of men. Tyler Swisher's memory has been our ripple in still water. Captain Tyler Swisher, God bless you and your family. Semper Fidelis.
All of this stuff that people were willing to do for this one guy, and there's countless there. That was hard to deal with walking through there.
We got one last thing, well, for now anyway, that we want to give you guys. We carried that the whole way. Give it back to y'all.
Everybody did a great job on the run. But I gotta tell you, as much as we hated him for the last 26 hours, if it wasn't for Trevor, we would not be here today. Because he yelled at us, he called us sissies, kept us going, and we hated him. We were digging a hole somewhere in the woods for him. But you know, we love him. But he really pulled us together and made us dig hard. And I gotta tell you, I didn't run close to what he ran, and I don't know what he's feeling right now. So, probably nothing. So,
all right.
You did it, man.
You get to see some suffering. You probably got to see it.